Hey, how's it going, everyone? Mark Anderson here, construction worker turned zero DT hedge fund manager. Today, I wanted to go over backtesting principles and some things I've seen recently that is just manufacturing edge. And I think we can basically all experience this, that we have not been getting the results of our backtest. So I want to show you how I think about it and kind of explain to you the dynamics of the market and how orders getting placed actually works. So this is kind of a popular trade that I see going around the community. It's a mechanical entry iron condor that is break even, so a 1x stop on each side. Everyone here is using a one lot, and we know that is, what we want to do, so we're not bringing compounding into the test. We've split up the sides per legs, and we're also using those intra-minute stop losses for zero DT data, so it's accurate. And then we have a reasonable slippage of 5 cents and then a reasonable stop loss slippage of 15 cents and capping losses. So we look at this trade, and so far this year, this has, a 6.5% capture, and it's got a 56% compounded annual growth rate with a 4% drawdown. And everyone says, hey, I'm rich. I'm quitting my job and I'm going to make $1 million trading zero DT. Some things I want to point out about this is that we're looking at a ratio condor. So at its core, I do like this because we're collecting the same amount of premium on each side. We're, able to be about the same distance delta wise because the put size obviously is skew, so we can get further away for collecting more credit. So in its core, I like this test. But how the market actually works and how this backtesting software reflects it are two different things. And this is why I wanted to go over it. So when we look at this initial test, this is basically saying that when we shop a condor, which is two legs, one short put leg, one long put leg, and then four legs, two short call legs, and two long call legs, we're basically saying we would get 5 cents of slippage to enter this order, which is the price to cross the bid-ask spread. Now, in market dynamics, when we shop an order at entry, the more legs we have, usually the better we will get filled. However, when we're shopping an order, let's say a two lot of this 150 call, you're not shopping a two lot at a bid ask of $3, $3.30. You're shopping two one lots at the bid ask of 150, 155. Whereas what this back testing software shows is if this order right here is shopping basically a $6 order, it's saying you pay 5 cents in entry slippage to cross all six legs for that $6 order, which is not really how the market works in actuality. The stop loss slippage here is relatively reasonable with 15 cents. This is applied independently to the put side and the call side. However, the more legs we have, usually the more stop loss slippage we will incur. The analogy that I kind of like to give to this is when a stop loss happens, there's a lot of demand for people to get out and pay at whatever price. Similar to imagine you were in a movie theater and there was a fire and you were trying to get out. Let's compare basically two case scenarios. One case scenario is that you're by yourself and you're trying to get out of the movie theater, which is a one-legged order or only where the risk is basically in the short leg. So one person is trying to run out of the movie theater. It's relatively easy. Now let's go into situation two where you're shopping the short leg and then the vertical leg or the long leg, and you're looking at that spread. Now, if there's a fire and you have a stop loss and everyone's trying to get out that stop loss, now imagine to get filled, you have to cross the bid ask on two legs. So that would be more similar. Instead of just you running out of the fire in the movie theater, you now have to run out of the fire and you have to find your son to grab them to get out of the fire. It is most likely going to take you longer to do that. So that's something to put in mind. Now I wanted to kind of show what this looks like in more detail by iterating on a bunch of examples. In all these examples, I will have the exact same mechanics, the exact same entry and exit slippage mechanics, and the exact same stop losses, entries, and contracts amounts. The only difference I will make here is how that is applied over the backtesting software, and I want to show you how big of a difference that can make. And I think we can all agree this is why we don't have an 11.5 MAR and we aren't a millionaire right now. So this second example here is using a ratio condor again, but this time with a two lot and a four lot. in lieu of a one lot and a two lot. It's still using one lot. So this is the double the amount of contracts. Now, all of a sudden, we made a P&L of $106,000. Whereas if you were to just double this 44,000 P&L, because again, this is a one lot, we're literally just doing twice the contracts, same time, same entry, same stop loss, slippage mechanics. All of a sudden, we have a P&L of 106,102 comparative to 44,675, which if we times this by 2, be roughly 89 grand. So where did all of that edge come from? We would expect a edge of basically $42, which is what we have in the second trade, but we would expect 36 because it's twice of this. How did we get all that edge? Basically what happened, which is not really the case in the market, it happens a little bit on entry slippage, but definitely not on exit slippage. This is basically showing that in order to cross 10 legs here, 8 on the call side, and then 12 legs, 8 on the call side and 4 on the put side, we're only paying 5 cents of entry slippage. Whereas here, to cross basically for 6 legs, we're only paying 5 cents of slippage. Also, when we exit, to exit this 8-legged order, it's saying 15 cents of stop loss slippage, which is not the case because, again, if we're exiting this order, we're not exiting, let's say this price is $3. We're not exiting a $12 order. We're exiting 4 orders of $3, which would be the stop loss. And each of those have an individual bid-ask spread. Granted, it could be slightly easier to get filled, but it's never going to be as easy to get filled on one. So you're essentially creating all of your edge from better slippage and on entry and exit when you're using these more contracts, which is frankly just not true. That is not how the market works. Each contract of each strike has an individual bid ask. So when you do 4 times the contract of that strike, that doesn't mean your entry slippage is 5 cents, as opposed when you do 8 cents, when you do 8 contracts across that, your entry slippage is still 5 cents. If that was the case, then I would trade a 10,000 lot at $1.50. And therefore, when I cross the bid ask for that 10,000 lot, I would still only pay 5 cents of slippage, and I could basically eliminate slippage, which is not the case. The next example I wanted to give is testing these individually as a vertical. So again, same contracts, same time frame, and this is also as a ratio. I get a P&L of $41,000 for the put side. Then on the call side, same thing. 4 contracts as a ratio, same time, same contracts. I get an expected value of 46 here and 41 here for a combined of 88. Again, this $88,000 P&L is nowhere near the $106,000 P&L here because we're paying twice the entry slippage. Now, to further exacerbate this, let's test these as a one lot. So this same thing. This is a one lot, except we're doing 2 contracts at a time. So we'll be paying that 5 cent entry slippage twice instead of just once. Here we have an expected value of $33,000. Then on the call side, we are doing a 4 lot, which again is the exact same as a combo, except this time we're paying 5 cents across that bid ask 4 different times. Therefore, our expected value is now $21,000, or a combined P&L is 54. Again, same contracts, same time slots, same entry slippage, same stop loss. However, we've had $54,000 P&L versus the $106,000 P&L we had over here. Nothing changed, nothing compounded. It's simply our entry and exit slippage parameters, which are not true how the market works. The last one I would like to show is when we test these naked. I personally think we should all test these naked because it's better to bring in the assumptions. And I think it's most responsible to only manage the short leg because we will pay less slippage over time. So on this one, when I show it naked as a one lot, and then I apply those 2 contracts, I am assuming 10 cents entry slippage, 5 cents to cross the bid-ask spread of the naked leg, and then 5 cents for the wing, which is basically thrown away on that entry. Then when we have 15 cents exit slippage, that is the price to basically just cross the bid ask on the put side. We have a P&L of $36,000. Then I do a 4 lot with the same principle, 5 cents across the bid ask, 5 cents for a wing, and then 15 cents exit slippage across each one. We can see that the P&L against drastically decreases. So let's walk through this again here down below. When we trade a 1 lot as a 1-to-2 ratio as a condor, we have 5 cents of entry slippage across 6 legs, and then 15 cents of exit slippage to cross either 2 or 4 legs of the bid-ask spread. We have a P&L of $44,675. Then if we trade it as a one lot still, so this is double the contract, but as a 2-to-4 ratio, and as a condor, we're paying 5 cents of entry slippage across 10 legs and 15 cents of exit slippage across 4 legs or 6 legs. Obviously, when we have more legs, again, more family to get out of the fire and the exit slippage, we should probably pay more, but that's not what we're showing in the back test. Now, all of a sudden, when we do twice the contracts, we have $106,000 P&L as opposed to 44. To show you 44 times 2 would be 89,350. We've created $16,770 of positive value from basically a false assumption. Now, if we look at the next one, which is a one lot of a 2-to-4 ratio, but as a vertical this time. So we're testing the entry slippage just on the put side and just on the call side, but still in a ratio of 2 contracts and 4 contracts, we now have an $88,000 P&L. So you can see here, we're still missing out on that 106, but we're much more accurate to this 44 because we're spreading the risk out evenly. So you can see here, ratio condor, when you double it, that's 89. And then as 2 separate verticals, we're doing 88, but double the contract. So you're still applying that same slippage, except you're applying it to verticals on twice the contracts here, but each individually. So it's more than one trade. And then here on one trade, you're crossing a iron condor. So it's across 4 legs. So you can see that these two are very similar, the 89,000 and the 88, but it's still drastically different from this one. Now, the next one is on a non-ratio, which this means we're just testing a one lot put with 2 contracts or a one lot call with 6 contracts. And now we basically get a $54,000 P&L. Again, same exact contracts, same exact entry and exit slippage assumptions. However, our value or expected value is now half of what we would have made when we traded as a condor. So you can clearly see, this is what I'm trying to show you, is there's no edge in that trade. Your edge is all just from your assumptions, which are off. This is why no one's getting those results as they're trading. The next thing I would like to show you is when we trade these as a naked combo, meaning that we're paying 10 cents to cross the bid ask, 5 cents for the wing, and then 5 cents for the bid ask as a one lot. But in multiple contracts, we now only have a $46,000 P&L. Especially noteworthy is the call only has an expected value of $2 now. So when we're looking at this as a vertical, the same number of contracts, but twice the ratio, has a P&L of $88,000. But as a ratio with the same contracts, we have $89,000. These two make sense. We're applying the same amount of slippage over the same amount of contracts. We're just showing them as a vertical or as a condor. Then when we do twice the ratio, we have $106,000 of P&L, completely manufactured, all on that entry slippage here. And then when we show them as a one lot and as a vertical, we lose over half our P&L. Again, same contracts, same mechanics, same time, same compounding, same entry and exit slippage. They're just applied incorrectly to the thing. Then when we go as naked, which is how I would actually prefer to test things and how I do test everything, we now have a value of $46,000. So looking at this naked, when we isolate just managing the short leg and we show a more accurate assumption of what is reflected in the actual market to cross the bid-ask spread and to pay for the wing, we lose 43% of our P&L. And this mechanical entry iron condor only has an expected value of $6 per trade. Now, if we look at this with an expected slippage of 15 cents, if all of a sudden you incur a slippage of 20 cents, you now have an expected value of $1 per trade, which all of a sudden you thought you were going to make 56% a year up here and you were going to make $18 a trade. But in all actuality, you actually make about a tenth of this and you end up going home with, $4,000 and you didn't even beat the S&P and you lost all your money to slippage because you made poor assumptions. So I just kind of wanted to show you how I backtest and how I model slippage based on what I know about the market and how this stuff actually matches in my actual experience. So I hope this helped you guys. If there's anything you want me to show or go in more detail, I know this wasn't a typical back test of the week, but I wanted to show you kind of my best practices and the things I have seen people testing, that there are better ways to accurately model that. Appreciate it. Thank you guys.